Hi, I'm Anthony from bassbluesguitarlessonsonline.com. In this video we will explore the 3 types of notes you need to craft great sounding melodies and solos on the guitar. I'll first play an example of what you will learn. And what a lot of beginners do over this sort of easy backing track, I just created an A minor chord and a G chord backing track on my loop station really quick. But a lot of beginners, they go for the wrong pitches because they don't understand these 3 types of notes and they sound more like this. And as you can see, it sounds kind of much too tense, the notes that I played here to set the demonstration for what most beginners do. So you need to understand the 3 types of notes that you need to create great sounding melodies and beautiful guitar solos. So to do so, I will first explain type 1 of notes, and if you don't know anything about scales, that's okay, you can follow along with the tablature, but basically the scale that I used here is the A minor scale. And I play it here from a Mixolydian point of view, from the G note, but I land on the A note, so it's still the notes from the A minor scale using a 3-note string pattern. So you can follow along here in the tablature. And if you just use this scale and you just go and fish for notes and use your ear for whatever sounds good, chances are it won't sound really melodic and you won't be able to form great sounding melodies at first. And this is because we have 3 types of notes. And in those scales, we have the 2 most important types of notes, which is the type 1 is the consonant pitch, and then the type 2 is the dissonant pitch. If you don't know how this works, I'll explain it to you because this is really essential to form great sounding melodies here. So if we're playing over this type of chord progression, we're playing over the A minor chord and we're playing over the G chord, it's important to treat every chord a bit differently. So we need to be aware of the consonant pitches over every chord, and even though we're playing the same scale over both chords, we're playing A minor scale like in the tablature just the other minute, it's important to understand that our approach changes over each chord because the context changes. And the first type are the consonant pitches. So if we're playing over the A minor chord, the consonant pitches are the pitches that are in the chord and also in the scale, of course. So in the case of the A minor chord, we're playing the A note, the C note and the E note. Those are the consonant pitches. And then the other notes that are in the scale but not in the chord are also in the scale. We can use them for soloing, but they will sound more tense. So the name of the second type of note that we need are the dissonant notes. And in jazz harmony, this is also sometimes referred to as tensions or extension notes. And the extensions or the tension notes are the notes that create a form of longing, a form of tension. And this is great to use, but if we land on these tensions, it will sound tense. And music is all about tension and they're resolving that tension, so it's important to be able to at first understand these 2 types of notes, and I'll explain the 3rd type just in a minute. But to understand these types of notes and then to be able to use them in your guitar solos. And once you understand that consonant pitches are in the chord we're playing over, then it's important that you at first are able to target them. So chord tone targeting means that we're targeting the tones from the chord we're playing over at the moment that that chord arrives as being played in the chord progression. And this is why the melodies sound so thoughtful if we do this. So over the A minor chord, we can play the C note from that chord, the A note from that chord, the E note. These are all the consonant pitches. This is also the reason why it's a good idea to learn your arpeggios, because if you know, for example, the A minor arpeggio, how to play that, then you have all these pitches in sort of like pattern. So arpeggios are really handy to delve into more advanced soloing techniques, like for example the chord tone targeting thing here. So all these consonant pitches are now perfectly under my fingers. And you can follow along with the tablature if you want to play this pattern, but basically whenever that chord arrives in the chord progression, we're going to target one of those notes. And here's a little example of this. So I slid into the E note, then I went to the C note, which is also consonant here over A minor. And then I went back and forth between the B and the C note really quick to build up a little bit of tension, to make a little decorative element here. And then I went over here to the G note when the G chord arrives. So over the G chord, so we have three totally different consonant pitches again. So the consonant pitches over the G chord are the notes that are in the G chord now. So we have the G, B and D note that we can target now. And again, if you know your arpeggios, and if you don't, I encourage you to learn them. It's important to move in that direction. So if you know your arpeggio from the G major, you know all of the fingering, all these fingerings are notes from that chord, are the consonant pitches, so we can target them. And this is what makes these melodies so thoughtful, so melodic, and like you know what you're doing basically. But you can't forget about the other types of notes, the second type, the dissonant pitches, because if we would only play the consonant pitches, it would be kind of boring, the melodies that we play. And so the extension or tensions, the name says it by itself, it provokes tension in our playing. So here's an example of me playing over the A minor chord, but instead of targeting only the consonant pitches, I'm landing on one of the extension notes, one of the consonant dissonant pitches, and then when the chord moves to the G, you will see that this note, which I'll use for this purpose to hang on over the A minor chord, I extend that note until the G chord arrives, and then over the G chord it will become a consonant pitch because it's from the G chord. And the note I'll use for this is the B note over here. Over the AM it's a dissonant pitch, but over the G chord it is a consonant pitch, so it's great to be aware of this. So here's an example. So it's great to just take this into your practice routine, this way of thinking, and being able to spell out the chord tones over every chord and to target those pitches are important. So that's why you need to be aware of both the consonant pitches, the dissonant pitches, and then we have also the third type of notes, and this is a whole other story, they are even more tense and there's the feeling that they evoke. This is the altered tones, and this is a whole other lesson. There's even a scale that is called the altered scale that uses mainly notes that are altered, and the altered tones are really harsh sounding, so we can use them in jazz, sometimes in blues jazz it's also used, or in other styles when we want to provoke a lot of tension. And this is for another lesson, because we first need to delve into the consonant and dissonant pitches. And I hope you like this video. If you do so, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel so you get all the newest YouTube videos straight to your home feed. And also check out the website at bestbluesguitarlessonsonline.com. You can download plenty of free resources there, like the How to Play More Advanced Blues Guitar Solos free guide.